Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video at an unexpected time because Hearthstone has dropped the Year of the Raptor, basically a whole update on what's coming to the core set. A bunch of other news we'll cover tomorrow morning. You'll want to stay tuned, but we gotta go in depth right away on what's leaving the core set, what's being added to it, and yes, before we get into it, Shadow Step is staying, because of course it is, but there's a lot of exciting changes. 3 new cards coming to the core set, like brand new, not old, brand new cards, and some cards getting buffed and changed. We'll go through in depth every class, everything changing, and as always, if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below, give the video a like as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. And yes, they did officially say, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but the new expansion will be announced, like the whole, like cards and all that next week. So anyways, you'll want to stay tuned for all that. Hit that button down below. So leaving the core set for Deathlight, starting off, we have the Scourge leaving. Arena players can be happy, can't discover that anymore. Soul Stealer's probably the biggest one. Double Blood losing that board clear hasn't been that relevant for a little bit, but yeah, that one kind of stings. Might of Menethil, Noxious Cadaver, and Corpse Bride all leaving. However, we're getting a brand new card. Falric, a brand new double unholy legendary for Deathlight. It's a 3-mana 2/4. You gain twice as many corpses as normal. So a minion dies on the board, you gain 2. Or I guess if you had played Plague Grain, if it was still in standard, you would have gained 8 corpses, which would have been pretty good. You can do that in wild, of course, but yeah, that'll be a free legendary for everybody. Seems pretty good. And yeah, you Battle Cry, you get draw a card that spends corpses. So you get to draw a card that can immediately synergize with this. That's pretty nice. So I'll give it like a solid 3 out of 5. I think I could see play in a double unholy deck. Card draw, corpse gaining. Pretty darn solid card. Tomb Guardians will come back. I guess it wasn't in the core set. I forgot. You just get, 4/4 in taunt, although you have to spend corpses to get them reborn. Death Metal Knight, never really that great. I guess it just basically stays in the core set because I think it was in standard. It was supposed to rotate. Death Chiller comes back apparently. And another new card, Poison Breath. No rune requirement on this. 2 mana, give a friendly undead poisonous, which could go pretty well with the Rites of Despair, right? You give that undead poisonous, it does the AoE. That could be a full clear, rather expensive, but overall, it's pretty niche. I don't know if this will see much play, but for a core set option, not bad. Give it a 2 out of 5, I guess, in standard. And Malignant Horror coming back. Really good corpse spending card. Yeah, you get Poison Breath. Each copy will be poisonous. That could be pretty solid. Demon Hunter losing Metamorphosis. That's a very strong card. They are losing. The rest, haven't seen a ton of play. Expendable, Coordinated Strike, and Umberwing. Not a big deal. Going to the core set though, Zai the Incredible getting a buff. I think this was a 6/3 originally. 5-mana 6/4, you copy the left and rightmost cards in your hand. So a bit of value, never great. Never really saw much play, but hey, it's coming back. Priestess of Fury, again, the original Demon Hunter card, pretty slow in today's game, but hey, you can Window Shopper this now. Window Shopper's still in standard, so that could be quite good. Tusk Piercer, pretty solid weapon, sees play. 1 mana, 1/2 Death Rattle, draw a minion, not bad. Or draw a Death Rattle minion, so can synergize with other Death Rattles, and Fell Rattler being one of them. Pretty solid card, and overall, Demon Hunter is kind of struggling. This doesn't help it a ton, but actually hurts it more than anything. Metamorphosis, really, really good card. Druid losing like a lot of OG cards here. Cenarius, Ancient of Lore, and Druid of the Claw. 3 choose 1 cards leaving. What's happening to choose 1? Lesser Jasper, Spellstone also leaving. Didn't really see any play during the year after it was added. And we're getting Fandral back, I think for like the 2nd time in the core set. Vibrant Squirrel, Ben Hearthstone will be happy about that one. Best in Shell comes back. Not a bad tradable spell. And Flipper Friends was always pretty darn solid. Will be a nice addition to that core set. So they get at least 1 choose 1 card. Fandral, which works with choose 1 cards, but we're losing 3. I wonder if we're going to see some choose 1 cards with one of these upcoming expansions. I just wonder. Anyways, Hunter losing Dragonbane. Savannah Highmane, I think for the first time ever, will not be in the core set. Why can't I say that about Shadow Step? Lesser Emerald, Spellstone leaving, and Kill Command had a 1 year stay. Some really good cards though. Hunter's getting really good stuff. Varanus, really solid card. 6 mana, 7/6 dragon. Battlecry changes the health through all enemy minions to 1. Can be a really nice clear. Terror Scale Stalker, nice cheap Death Rattle activator. Used to be 3 mana. Got buffed a little bit, I think, for Caverns of Time, but I could see that seeing play. Mountain Bear, really rad card. I've always really liked Mountain Bear. 7 mana, 5/6 Death Rattle, summon 2/2/4s with Cubs with Taunt, and Wound Prey coming back. Just a decent little damage card. Summons a 1/1 Hyena with Rush. All really good cards. They could see some play during their standard run. Mage will be losing Stargazer Luna, Babbling Book, Arcanologist, and Shooting Star. None of which really saw a ton of play this year. They are getting back though Arc, Mage, and Tinnitus, but no buff, which is kind of surprising considering how outdated he is in today's game. But he's coming back, but yeah, no buff. The last new card here, by the way, Babbling Bookcase, a 3 mana 2/4 Battle Cry. Add 2 random mage spells to your hand. So we lose the book, we get the bookcase, which gives us even more spells. Violet Spellwing comes back and gets a buff. This used to be a 1/1, now it's a 1 mana 2/1. Add an Arcane Missiles to your hand, and Oasis Ally comes back. Basically, when a friendly minion's attacked, you get a Water Elemental. Pretty solid secret and decent addition. One of the better design secrets Mage has ever had. So Paladin losing Lady Liadrin with the Libram stuff. That kind of a bummer, but didn't really make the cut at the end of the day anyways. Hammer of the Naru will leave, Warhorse Trainer, and Stand Against Darkness. Some subdued stuff leaving. However, Anachronos, really solid dragon. Coming back, you send all other minions 2 turns into the future. It's like a poof effect, and then they come back later. Unless they don't have the board space, then you don't get those minions, right? So this saw a lot of play, and it could certainly see play again. Underlight Angling Rod, really solid weapon. You get a random Murloc added to your hand, 3 mana 3/2. You get Red Scale Dragon Tamer, 2 mana 2/3. Death Rattle, draw Dragon. I'm feeling some dragon vibes here, which we'll see in the core set. Pretty crazy what they're doing. And then Immortalized and Sown. You summon a 4/8, 2/4, and 1/2 elemental with Taunt. I believe they've reworded this to start with the bigger stuff first. So if your board is too full, you'll get the 4/8 first instead of the 1/2. So a bit of a buff, even though the card kind of functions the same, it will summon in a different order, which is quite nice. Priest will lose Katrina Morte, Mana Geode, Crimson Clergy. Really, really good card they're losing there. Lesser Diamond Spellstone, and Shadowward Pain. They will be gaining. Natalie Celine getting a buff. It was an 8 mana 8/1. Now it is a 7 mana 7/1. Destroy a minion and gain its health. Light Shower Elemental, Greater Healing Potion. Spirit Guide, really solid card up here. Death Rattle, draw Holy Spell and Shadow Spell. Could easily see that scene play. It's a 5 mana 5/5 taunt that draws 2 cards. That's pretty good. Empowered Shield, always good. 1 mana, give a minion +2 health and draw a card. So Priest losing 1 really good card, but they're gaining at least 2 good ones. So should work out all right. And yes, Rogue losing Flick. I love Flick. What a cool card. Spectral Cutlass they're losing. That's kind of a bummer. Feldori Strider, Elven Minstrel, and Sap. Yes, no Shadow Step leaving or anything like that. Shadow Step prep for another year at least. Every other class does something different in 2025. I'm just saying, Rogue, always the same. And yes, I will continue to bitch and moan about it forever and ever. Shaku the Collector will be coming back with an extra health buff whenever this attacks, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. Still not updated to say from another class, so if you're facing another rogue, you can get a rogue card. Waggle Pick, pretty decent weapon, works like a Shadow Step, so there you go, even more Shadow Step effects. Undercity Huckster will return just a 2 mana 2/3 Death Rattle, get a random card from your opponent's class. Defias Ringleader getting a bit of a buff. This is an OG card from Legacy. 2 mana 3/2 now instead of a 2/2 combo. Summon a 2/1 Defias Bandit. And Foxy Fraud, really good card. 2 mana 3/2 Battle Cry. Your next combo card this turn costs 2 less. You can like Shadow Step it and stack that, so you get double, like -4. However, it went with Swindle. Swindle was super good, was the main reason you played this card. Not there, but we'll see. It's still mana cheat on a 2-drop that can become 0 with Shadow Step, so always something to look out for, since Shadow Step will never leave. Shaman getting a big change up here. They're losing Kalamos, Overdraft, Thing from Below, Muck Pools, Air Elemental, Spirit Claws, and Ancestral Knowledge. 7 cards leaving for Shaman. They will be getting Kragwa the Frog, I think for the second time ever in the core set. Earth Elemental, which is now a 7/9 instead of a 7/8, still overloads too. You get Jinwoo Water Speaker, restores 6 health. This used to be a 3/6, got buffed with Caverns of Time, now a 4/6. And we got Blazing Invocation, discover a Battle Cry minion. It costs 1 less. This never used to give a discount, so that is another little buff. We have Voltaic Burst, 1 mana 1/1, summon 2 1/1 Sparks with Rush, overload 1. We have Marsh Spawn, Battle Cry, if you cast a spell last turn, discover a spell. That one has not been changed. And Wailing Vapor, after you played Elemental, gain +1 attack. That one remains the same, although they're losing Kalamos for the Elementals. They're gaining 3 other ones, so not bad, but damn, that Shaman will look considerably different with rotation. Warlock losing some really iconic cards, 6 of them. Rafam, Twisting Nether, Lesser Amethyst Spellstone, Defile. That one's a bummer, although I haven't seen much of it honestly lately, which is crazy. Bloodbound Imp and Void Walker. Void Walker leaving standard, I think, for the 2nd time now. They are getting one of the best cards of this entire core set, though. They are getting the Solarium back. This is just an insanely good card. 1 mana, you draw 3 cards, they're temporary, so you have that turn to play them, but it's got discard synergies, or you're just playing 1 mana, draw 3. That's so good. This will definitely see play. Despicable Dreadlord returns with a health buff, now a 4/6. Dark Peddler, same thing as before. Used to be a 2/2, but got buffed a while ago. Vulgar Homunculus comes back. Fiendish Servant comes back, and Demonic Assault returns as well, giving you some taunt protection. Warrior losing 5 cards with Deathwing, Mad Aspect. You note a lot of dragons leaving. Some are being added. Town Crier, Bladestorm, which we really need right now for those Zerglings. Frightened Flunky and Whirlwind all leaving. However, we get Bulwark of Azeroth, an amazing legendary weapon. Whenever your hero would take damage, this loses 1 durability instead. Love to see that come back. Bloodhoof Brave, Ravaging Ghoul, Hook Fist 3000. I don't know if this gave 3 armor or 4 armor before. Not sure if they buffed that one. And I Know a Guy used to just discover a taunt, but it gives a buff now. Again, a Caverns of Time buff. So you can see not like super crazy changes for the class core set. There's some impactful ones, but overall pretty middling. How about them neutrals? There is a lot of changes. So these are all the cards leaving the core set. Every OG dragon is leaving. Every single one of them. We have a dragon expansion coming up. I wonder why they're leaving. We're probably getting new versions of all of them, right? So Deathwing, Malagos, Ysera, Onyxia, and Alexstrasza, for the first time ever, will not be in the core set, standard, whatever you want to call it, but I'm sure we're getting new versions, right? Baron Geddon, Zola, Sylvanas, Justicar. This will make a lot of people happy and sad. Leroy is leaving. Molten Giant, Mountain Giant, Sea Giant, Footman, Defender of Argus. Thankfully, Mind Control Tech is leaving. Replicating Menace, Armor Vendor, Warsong Grunt, no more Grunt Hunter, OTKing, Night Elf Huntress, War Gear, Bronze Gatekeeper, Wandmaker, and yes, the other charge minion, Southsea Deckhand. So the neutral charge options look like they're gone. That was a 1-year thing. They're gone, and our boy, the Snow Flipper Penguin. But what are we getting added for all this stuff? Well, there's some cool stuff. Octosari coming back. You're gonna randomly get an 8-drop and lose the game to this more than you're ever gonna win with it. Chilma coming back. I don't think it even got a buffed. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all minions. This card's terrible. I can't imagine that sees play. Sneed's Old Shredder returns for the first time, gets a mana buff. It used to be 8 mana, now 7 mana. You get a summon a random legendary minion. Still terrible. Cairn comes back. It's still a 5/5. It got buffed from a 4/5 a while ago. Plus it's Death Rattle. However, it's got Taunt. You can't ignore it anymore. It has Taunt. Cornelius Roama infamously rated this card a 5 out of 5. Saw very little play at the start and end of each player's turn. Draw a card. It's a Stormwind card, but a stomachable one. Will return the Curator coming back and is buffed by 2 mana. That's nuts. 5 mana, 4/6 Taunt, draw a beast, a dragon, and Murloc from your deck. That's awesome. And know it's awesome, my boy. I've been asking for this for years. Finja returns whenever this attacks and kills a minion. Summon 2 Murlocs from your deck. It's got stealth, and it's now a 3/5 instead of a 2/4. The Black Knight comes back, has tradable, destroy an enemy with minion with Taunt. Mukla returns. Battlecry, give your opponent 2 bananas, and he's not a 5/5 anymore. He's a 5/6. Lore Walker Cho. We gotta get Hobbs back playing Hearthstone. Whenever you play, whenever a player casts a spell, put a copy of it into the other player's hand, so it can be a little bit of trolling disruption. Never super competitive, but hey, with Librams, it's actually seeing play in Wild with Librams. It's so troll. Blowtorch Saboteur returns. This might look like a nerf if you know the card. It's a 3 mana 3/3 now. Used to be a 3/4. Battlecry, your opponent's next hero power costs 2 more. It used to make it so your opponent's next hero power costs 3. So technically it'll make the hero power cost more on average, unless it's a Demon Hunter or a 1 mana hero power of some sort, right? So they buffed the text, but they did nerf the health. And Runaway Blackwing kind of getting nerfed, also buffed. Used to be a 9 mana 9/9 that would deal 10 damage to a random enemy minion. Now it's a 10 mana 10/10. But again, we have a dragon expansion coming up. Maybe there's a way to cheat it out, and it's even better because I'd rather cheat out a 10/10 than a 9/9. We'll see. Foreshadowing, possibly. You never know. Anyway, Steam Cleaner, after popular demand, coming back to standard. Battlecry, destroy all cards in both players' decks. It didn't start there. Does not work against Kill Jaden, just so you know. This does not counter Kill Jaden, but anything else, it does. However, ETC is no longer the core set, which is what you would want to put in your ETC. The timing is all wrong. Sun Fury Protector returns. Moarg Forge Fiend, Menagerie Mug, Menagerie Jug, and Menagerie Mug come back. They're not great. Fire Plume Phoenix comes back. I believe it deals it's a 3/4 now. I think it used to deal 3 always, but now it's a 3/4, so it gets a bit of a stat increase. Nether Spite Historian is now a 2/3 instead of a 1/3. Maze Guy returns, nothing changed there. Wisp returns, and the last big change, Prize Vendor returns, and instead of just being a Battle Cry card, it is also now a Death Rattle where each player draws a card. So this is 2 mana, draw 2 for both players as long as the Battle Cry went off and the Death Rattle died. So there you go. A lot of changes. I wouldn't say they're super impactful. Obviously making room for some big dragons. Standouts like the Curator. I love that that's coming back. Solarium for Warlock. But yeah, another year of Shadow Step and Prep and Rogue. It's crazy. Every other class looks so much different than like 10 years ago, and Rogue's the same. Like, it's the same. It's not, to me, it's not so much like the balance issues of Step. It's like, can I do something else with Rogue other than spam cheap combo and Battlecry minions and scam my opponent with Step? I want Tempo Rogue. I want to do something else, but other than that, it looks pretty cool. This core set will not go live until basically when the next expansion goes live. So not till like late March, I would think, sometime in late mid-March. But this will be what we'll have to expect. So something to look forward to. And yeah, let me know what you think about this core set. It'll be linked down below with like the blog. And we'll talk about the blog tomorrow. There's lots of stuff. Esports, events, new cards playable early, lots to talk about, so stay tuned for that video. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.